Hey everybody, it's Cindy Bishop with Cindy Bishop Worldwide. I'm the sales performance and accountability coach. And we are going to go over newsletter creation today. We're also going to add blogs into that to make sure that you see the kind of the correlation between the two so you know you have some choices. We want to basically do this whole presentation with you turning readers into buyers or sellers, but you getting business by creating a credible you. That's what we want them to think of you as a resource. We want them to separate you from other agents and remember your name when it's time to hire an agent, whether it be for a friend because it's a referral or for themselves. All right, newsletters and blogs are really important ingredients in building your credibility as a resource to consumers. I can't even begin to tell you how important it is for you to stand out to do these things. The real difference between the two is just quantity. The difference between a newsletter that's filled with a selection of topics to pick from, giving them a variety, whereas a blog is usually focused on one general topic. Really, either way though, doing something with substance and value regularly is going to make you so credible and the top pick for your consumers. This presentation is more focused on newsletters, but you should know that you can do videos in that newsletter. You can do a video blog, since we're going to talk about blogs. So there's just so many things you can do to mix and mingle in both newsletters and blogs, and especially adding videos today is so important. But whatever you decide, the choice of doing something consistently is better than doing nothing or being inconsistent. Inconsistency is a killer for your business. Now, we have to kind of see if we can figure out the psychology of consumers. It's a little tricky. One thing we've learned over the years is most consumers are skimmers. They're really focused, and they stop with strong headlines and one-liner subheadings that really grab their attention. Consumers are also quick to leave what they're reading when there's too much confusion or work, meaning like too many clicks. So instead of posting an entire 500-word article in this example on your newsletter or in your blog summary page, you would want to have a good headline and then maybe a paragraph, maybe last 3 or 4 sentences, followed by a read more link to a landing page or your blog post location. You know, that's what they like versus the whole thing, all those words facing them, whether it be a newsletter or a blog. So since you are the product, just in case you didn't know that, you are the product. Later, they're going to want a home to buy or sell, but initially they're deciding on whether they want to work with you. So you want them to engage, so they're going to make a buying decision in you. So that's very important for you to remember. All right. All right. So let's identify all of the components of why the construction of a newsletter or blog is so critical for your business and why you want to do this. Most agents start off with a bang, but fail to be consistent in their message. 80% of effective email marketing campaigns is actually doing it. That's 80% of it. Forget about the content for a minute, but just doing it with consistency. Another key component is to make sure whatever you decide to do, it's 90% valuable content and no more than 10% promotion. Nobody wants to be fed you. They want to come to terms with it themselves. Now, we're going to talk more about call to actions in this presentation later, but asking them to do something in your campaign, whether it be a newsletter or whether it be blogs, whatever it is that you're doing, is about the same as training them to listen and trust you. So it's an action. So just like in the example of the read more we were talking about, if you give them value, they're going to click to complete the quality experience. So why would you be any different? Whether you're sending out a newsletter, a one-topic email, or a blog post, be sure to capitalize on its presence by connecting your email marketing system also to all your social media sites for more exposure. Any email marketing system is going to have that available. So using a blog is going to allow you to also archive your newsletter. So if you're going to use a newsletter, you might also consider having a blog because your article can be stored there in its entirety, kind of like a landing page, but it's easier to use. It's also very good for your search engine optimization. It'll get you found faster. So let's briefly, and I mean briefly, go over this incredible box thing we've got going on here. So we've already figured out that the biggest agent problem is consistency. Actually doing something with consistency every month, every week, whatever it is that you need to do based on your product, and also not being interested in 90% promotion. I mean, 90% content instead of 90% promotion, which I unfortunately see a lot when people are sending me their emails. 10% promotion, guys. Nobody wants to be forced fed a whole frying pan full of liver. So think of it that way. You need to give them value for you to become credible. Okay, so the three things I really wanted you to see were the unique value proposition, the unfair advantage, and customer segments. They kind of go hand in hand. You want to create a clear, unique value proposition. Those are compelling subject lines, one-liner messages, read more, you've gotten them engaged. You can even expand on those things. So don't give them too much all at once. Think about making it interesting, getting them to actually take an action that you caused them to take. It'll go just miles in their ability to follow you. And that's really what you want them to do. You need to find what separates you from the competitors. Use the customer segment section, 3 to 4 examples of what people have said when you've asked them on why they picked you. Why did they pick you to sell them a house, to list their house? Why? You need to find that out so that you can highlight that and use those things to basically give your competition an unfair advantage so that you know what it is. If it's appealing to 3 or 4 people, it's probably going to be interesting to a whole lot more than that. They're just the people that have worked with you that can give you an answer. Make sure that if you do blog posts, that you do them at least twice weekly. Newsletters could be done once a month. That is kind of a benefit of a newsletter. Your key metrics, make sure you have analytics with any of your email marketing systems, because just like we know about direct mail, if you're doing direct mail, then you have no idea, and you never will, how that's working out for you. Unless every once in a blue moon, somebody calls based on that. But believe me, it's every once in a blue moon. So analytics are critical to the success of your business because it's the only way to measure the results for real. You want to make sure that you reach your target consumers. That's why the direct marketing, which is email marketing, social media, ads, partnerships, word of mouth relationships, all those things are important. That's why when you see how we build a newsletter, we're even a blog, we're going to include those groups, relationships, partnerships, businesses we know. Why? Because then they get a copy of it, and guess what? They're sending it to people they know. So it helps us be more engaged. Something I want to mention, adopters. About 5% of your database are followers of yours typically. Loyal followers, they'll follow you to the death. You need more of those people. So what you want to do is you want to take those 5% and you want to do nice things for them. Blog posting of something that one of your 5% has as a cause, and educate people on what the cause is about and what Sally Sue is doing about that. Same way with the newsletter. Same way with businesses they might have. You need to get actively engaged with your adopters, your 5% followers, the people that will support you no matter what. Now on the bottom, cost structure, there's fixed and variable costs to launch your service. You want to make sure you always consider the cost versus reward. Most email marketing systems are cheap. Having a WordPress site is cheap, but I have a coach that I keep on retainer because there's always something. And I do mostly all WordPress sites for myself. Revenue streams, you want to make sure that you're thinking generate income, but you don't think about it as somebody paying for a book on Amazon. That's not what I mean by generate income. What I mean is get people in your database to actually start trusting your action requests, call to action, monthly contests, sticky content. All those things are teaching them how to follow you. That is a huge revenue stream action. So that's what you've got to be thinking about no matter what you do, which is why promoting yourself is surface noise. You've got to get them to actively engage in doing what you ask them to do, and you will find a big difference in your business. All right, system examples. There's just lots of systems out there to select from. I've never been a fan of limited real estate company websites. If you have a website where you have a page and you're a slave to the company website, run fast. That's not good for you. It might be good for the company, but it's super not good for you. You're running a business, guys, and you need to run it like one. You need to think of yourself as your own business. You're a corporation or an LLC. You're something, okay? But you are not the laggy behind the business, okay? So I want to see some independence so that you can grow and thrive. And yes, you need to know this stuff if you're running a business. You can Google search more selections. I've included some for you to begin with. I'm a WordPress fan, as I've mentioned, but that's not going to be right for a lot of you. It does not. It does take, unfortunately, a lot of maintenance and updating plugins and all this stuff. It's a very inexpensive site to run, but it's also not. So yeah, there's a few people that have decided to do that, and I've actually introduced them to my coach. So what you want to think about is keeping things super, super simple, because you're not going to do it if it gets complicated or you need help. My coaching members use Realty Juggler, which is a CRM, a customer relationship management system. Keeps track of transaction management and database details and all the people, so you can contact them. They generally have good email marketing, just not templates. We promote them because they have absolutely excellent customer service, very low pricing, and excellent quality control. Now, in addition to the RJ, we have our coaching members connect to MailChimp because it's a companion. In the case of MailChimp, they have some deal with Realty Juggler where it's a companion to Realty Juggler, and that will house the templates for your newsletter or your individual little ad. These are beautiful templates. and people say, oh, those templates are good enough. They are for the vast majority of people in your database. Maybe if somebody in your database was this genius Apple graphic artist, it wouldn't be. But listen, 1 out of 100 is not a reason to go with software you have no idea how to use. So this way, they can utilize the newsletter templates. So you're going to need that email marketing system to create customized newsletters for sure. You're not going to be able to do it without it, even though with your CRM, you can use their regular email to send out regular emails. And there's so many templates, and I'm going to show you a little bit later how to think out of the box a little bit on this. So I've listed some other companies that you can look at, whether it be email marketing, blogs, websites. There's even some stuff on Conversion Board. I just wanted to throw that in there for you. Now, if you want to archive your newsletter, so it comes out of MailChimp, let's say, you can actually, if you have a blog, and there's all kinds of places you can have independent blogs, you can actually archive your newsletter there, and it's searchable. So keep that in mind. Don't just let your emails go out and be done. You can actually use your blog to archive them. And the other benefit of the blog companion is to also do a read more on your newsletter and have it go to your blog. That's where the rest of the story is. It almost acts like a landing page, a storage place for the rest of the article or whatever it may be. All right, so there are 3 newsletter options. The first is the ready-made, or what I call the done for you. I'm a fan of Old Republic marketing because I just think it's an excellent, not over advertised newsletter. All you have to do is give them your email, and it's a small price to pay for the goodies they provide. All of the marketing materials for agents are customizable. There's door hangers, the newsletter, and it comes in Spanish and also for a team. It's not loaded with real estate stuff. It's just well done. And the advertisement they put in there is so little. And this particular newsletter, I've tested it on consumers. It's very popular. It's actually a 2-page format that you can download in 2 pages. So when you're sending it out, you're not sending it out as a link. By the way, never send out links. They're never going to open them. Don't even bother. Instead, you're going to use a system like Adobe if you want to fill in what their mailer space is, or you can just leave it alone. But then you're going to convert it to an image. You can do that in Adobe. If you're in coaching on our companion site, the Agent Education Center, we have some videos in there on how to convert it in other ways. And then what you're going to do is Realty Juggler has actually put a button in there that's a Mona Lisa to actually download each page individually, but it will go in as your email. You'll see page 1, and then right under it, you'll see page 2, just like you see this one page here as an example. So that's the way we're going to do it. No links. We're going to send it as this beautiful email with an excellent subject line header. You're not forgiven for that. You have to do that. So you've got to get good at that. So then you can use your Realty Juggler. You can use a CRM. Now, if you were going to create this, you've got to do it with a template on an email marketing system. In this case, like MailChimp. Okay. First choice, second choice. Now, while the Old Republic newsletter was free, the one we just saw, the semi-custom newsletters are not. This is an example of either a yearly cost or a monthly cost. I highly recommend when you do this, you stick with it for a year and you pay the yearly fee up front because it is so much more expensive monthly. You just can't believe it. So this is fully customizable. I call it semi-custom because you have a newsletter in front of you that's engaging. I never liked the black and white. I used this one for years, but it is extremely effective because it attracts people. It's like walking into a flea market. Their eyes are everywhere because there's at least 50% right up front that you just can't wait to get to. It's kind of that same way. So this is it's long, but it's popular. I've tested this one myself. You can change things, you can add, delete, etc. It is also very good about getting, if you make sure you keep the things in there that are engaging, that consumers love to be involved with them, contests and fun facts and different things. So, because if they get involved with the newsletter, they're going to get involved with you. Now, one thing our coaching members learn is how to send out post emails, the fortunes and the follow-up. So following up with an email after you've sent out the newsletter, highlighting some of the topic without giving away the farm is very valuable. So keep that in mind. And you will get much better response. In fact, it usually increases your analytic rate of opening if you do that 3 days after you send out your newsletter. All right, a fully customizable newsletter can be found on any email marketing system. What you see here in front of you are templates after templates, and this is just a little teeny weeny pinhole of what really exists. So I personally use Constant Contact, and I find it really easy now. I didn't at the beginning. There are basic newsletter formats like you see on the left, and then there are specific ones for real estate. I like the ones that stretch your mind and your imagination. That's what I like. So take the example. Let me show you what I mean. Take the example with the one in the middle with the purses and the gal with the shopping, the different color shopping bags. You know, you can change the image. You can make it anything that you want. But let's just say we left those two pictures. So, for example, I would put where the purses are, brilliantly executed design and layout. But my article would be about how to find the right contractor to give your home a curb appeal facelift. Now, of course, I'm making this up, but you get the general idea. You want to think out of the box. So in this case, I'd have my headline. My view more would be the rest of the story. I'd put the hottest stuff in those 3 or 4 lines, and then I'd say view more. Well, the rest of it would be on my blog post so that they would go over and read the rest of it. So that's how that works, and that's easy. All of you can do it because blogs are easy in the sense that you don't have to come up with a website and a landing page and figure out how to make that invisible and all that stuff. Now, in addition, on the same template, the gal right there below, what about sure to be a crowd pleaser? The heading, sure to be a crowd pleaser, but it's a coupon and you say something. And then a view more, it's a coupon from a local merchant for household items that kind of ties up with the curb appeal. But you want to, the whole point of my saying this is you want to think out of the box. You want to design and have fun. You want to be enlightening. You want to be frisky. You want to make their day a little brighter. It's already miserable. So you want to make their day brighter than it could have been. That's going to make a big difference for how they remember you. That's why you want to do that. Now, I spend a lot of time with coaching members thinking out of the box. It's what I'm good at. But you can do that too. Just let your imagination run wild and stop thinking about yourself. Don't think about yourself. Think about them. What would make their day a little brighter? What could you supply that would, maybe a brand new chocolate store down the way. It's worth driving 2 hours to get to because it's so good. I have a gluten-free bakery. I go all the way over to St. Michael's, Maryland from Fredericksburg, Virginia to get what I want because I'm gluten-free and I don't want garbage ingredients, and they don't do that, mostly organic. So that would be worth me telling an audience about because I drive 2 hours. I would be wondering, why don't they? But I would make it compelling. I would explain that to them. I wonder what percentage would go and find that particular bakery. All right, next. So newsletter blogs examples. So this is the weekly newsletter. This is a very kind of ugly and targeted to the goal of Yelp. I like it because I wanted to show you how you could do something like this. It focuses on one task, which is finding the public places to eat in a very specific area. You know, I had one coaching member do a travel corner and another an area event newsletter. That's all I did. New events. Unbelievable response. Talked about him, went to him, let people know he was going to be going to something, sent emails out in between saying, hey, you're going to be there on Friday. I'm going to be there at the blah, blah, blah. Engage. That's why they did so well. It was engagement. My travel person traveled all over the place. She was literally like the travel guide. She could even tell you how to book a hotel. It was really fascinating, all the stuff that she could do. So, but they all focused on one specific thing. It was truly engaging for them and for their audience. Most agents just try to do too much. They try to do it too fast, get fast results, and they spend most of their time and efforts on promotion. So whether you decide on a blog or a newsletter, and this, in my opinion, is a combination of both a blog and a newsletter. A blog can easily link out as well. Now, so again, I don't care what you do something. Do both. Do one well versus the other. Use a blog to have the rest of your story if you do a newsletter. So focus on the businesses you like, the charities you support, the causes you want to help. An animal at a shelter or rescue that needs a home, send it out. A loved recipe that you actually made. A remedy for an issue. Just the sky, I mean, the list goes on and on. The sky is the limit. They won't utilize your services until they trust you as a person. These kinds of things are going to get them to trust you. They don't want their home listing value. Okay, everybody's giving it to them. This is what they want. They want engagement. They want to feel good about what people around them are doing for them. Okay, so what you want to do, this is just a good, and I love this because I wanted to show you something that wasn't so finely tuned. This is good. It's well received. It's a great example of something, basic and kind of serves as both things for the consumers that are getting this. So here's a breakdown of what needs to be done in your newsletter. If you're going to use the same list for blog postings, then you can also do this with one item at a time. Like a newsletter goes out once a month, you can break it up and the blog goes out every week with one specific topic. Or you can do it like the previous slide, like Yelp did, where they kind of put everything in. It's kind of a combination blog newsletter. Blog postings, though, should be twice weekly, really, for the best return. Because you really want, so you're basically with the newsletter and the blog format, you're really getting the same amount of content out in a month, but two different kinds of formats. Everybody in coaching does something different, so you can deviate from any of this as long as you do something of quality consistently. So you're going to be able to see the results in your analytics. That's where you're going to see the results. National average is like 16%. So any opening over that, you're doing well. Otherwise, you've got to work on it. So this kind of gives you a list of, if you have a custom newsletter, what needs to be in it. Semi-custom is basically the same. You need to modify it accordingly. You just get to use a lot of their content. A lot of times you don't have to be looking for writers or write yourself. The done for you, you can put an insert in to make it a little bit more appropriate for the list of things that we want you to put in there. Or you can just try out just sending it out as it is. Some thoughts, get your list involved. Find out who has a business, charities, what they're interested in, school activities, whatever you can do to bring light to what needs to be done, giving value, and you'll find you'll really go a lot further with what you're doing. Okay, one-liners. If you don't already have phrases that sell and words that sell, I recommend you get them. I've been using these books for years and years and years. They're cheap. I got them on Amazon. I have an array of them. All you really need is one of each. It will help you just literally expand your imagination and your skill. Need it for headlines and one-liners. Tom Antion has a wonderful course called Copywriting 901. I bought it years ago. It's a one-time fee, and then you can use it forever. It literally, it's available at cindybishoptraining.com under tools and resources. I like it. I use it all the time because it has a headline generator on it on the right-hand side toward the bottom on the menu, but also it runs you through a course, a little short, easy to follow course that really teaches you about when to use italics, headlines, how to use subheadlines. I mean, it's just really a really good course. It helped me learn to be a writer, really. It really helped me a lot. Plus, he has lots of sales letters in there, so you can really pick and pack and piece things together. Because he's a billionaire and just does a great job. I've been coaching with him for a long time. So that's something for you to consider. There's also free headline generators online as well. You just have to put free headline generators. Some of them, want your email, and some of them are good, and some of them are not. But you need to master this skill. This is the key ingredient after consistency to actually getting attention, whether you're doing a blog or you're doing a newsletter. This is it right here, okay? Okay, so let's recap on the tips you need to follow in writing your newsletter or your blog. First of all, please provide enriching content and not about you. There are quite a few donators online. You can find free content. You just have to agree to the terms and conditions, and you have to give them credit. So just that's all you have to do. Follow the rules in order to post their content. You can also hire a writer on Fiverr or Upwork. Just make sure you get the help of those companies to write a good proposal, because you definitely want whatever they do for you to be able to go through the copy software to make sure it hasn't been copied, because you're responsible for it. And that's why you have to make sure that you're working with reputable people. Even if I have a writer, I always write the first 300 to 500 words. And the reason I do that is because then I know they're going to work with what I gave them. And they're going to do more research. I mean, I ask very specifically what I want. Research, I want more content. I want statistics. I may even want some infographics. And then you want to get the headline craft down. It's what determines whether they're even going to open it or not. Remember that less than 10% promotion is critical, and leave out all the real estate stuff, okay? Because it's about you. It's about the engagement, except you have to put all your contact information, and it's okay to put an editor's corner in that has a testimonial. Never just plop a testimonial in, though. Make sure you tell them why you got that testimonial. People don't understand. You do, but they don't. So you want to make sure you always elaborate where you can to be that quality teacher. These people aren't ready till they're ready to engage in real estate. You just want to make sure they are aware. Your face is always consistently in their email, at events they're at. You just want to be engaged and be consistent. So basically, all consumers do, and I've seen it 100 times, and you've seen it too, when they find out you're a real estate agent, what direction they go in. Do they shake your hand or do they walk backwards? I find they walk backwards. So, but when you're providing quality content, you're showing them that you are knowledgeable and you want to help them, then, and you're consistent about it, then they want to engage with you. All right, so I want to go over these blocks just ever so briefly. The purpose of your newsletter and blog, just to recap again, is to make you the trusted expert for consumers. What needs do you need to fulfill? What frustrations does what you are doing address? Make sure you have a solid brand. Don't be the jack of all trades. You want to make sure you have interesting content. Get help. Talk about events and food and places of interest, topics of interest like spring cleanup tips, or making your curb appeal look like $1 million on a shoestring. Fundraisers, the Girl Scouts are selling cookies. Help your local school, especially if you have school-age kids. They're always doing fundraisers for things or asking for donations. My gosh, their budgets are terrible. Promotion, you're going to make sure that you're connected to make sure you get more of a connection than just your email marketing system. You want to make sure that you include articles that showcase your knowledge. It's okay to talk about real estate if it's specific on topics like curb appeal, whether you're selling or not this year. Curb appeal is everything. If your curb appeal isn't good, nobody's going to walk through your house and walk up to the door. So, I mean, it's stuff like that you can kind of sneak in the back door a little bit. Promoting other businesses and charities is a great way to help. And that is truly something that should be in 90% of the content. Place is going to refer to where your consumers are going to look to see you. You're going to get them used to your website. You're going to get them used to your online presence. Make sure you tell them that if you're going to put your newsletter into your blog and archive it, that's where the old issues are. Maybe you'll always put coupons in there so that they can go back and get them. Timeless ones from the guy that does your oil changes, and he has a lifetime, one-time use coupon in there. I'm certainly making that up. I don't know exactly how that would be one time if they kept going back to get a new one, but they could be numbered. So all these things are tremendous. Now, the other thing is, I would definitely, under place, you see handout. I mean, I would be carrying around my newsletters. If I was doing newsletter or a blog, I'd have my information on that, and I'd be handing that out instead of a business card. They're more likely to keep it. All right, so that's it, except for our free resources. I want to make sure that you know that on our coaching site at cindybishoptraining.com, we have blog posts and videos. We have vlogs, which is what a video is in a blog. And then we have at cindybishopworldwide.com, which is our school site, we have instructor webinars, we have videos, and of course we have upcoming events. And all this is free. All of our webinars are free, not our coaching material. Now, just so you know, we have an amazing laser coaching program. Some of you on the call are in that program. And we also now have specific topic coaching sessions. That's social media, internet marketing, building your profile on the internet, technology. So our team of coaches train in all these things. And they are very specific 1 and 2 hour coaching sessions priced individually. And you can find that at cindybishoptraining.com under tools and resources, and then under resources on that page to the right. You can also find our private individual coaching sessions from the coaching site as well, the coaching page, sorry. We also have books and special reports and online training there. Our blog is another really rich content source with articles and videos. Please don't forget about that, because it's such a good thing. Now, Cindy Bishop Worldwide also has a video library, I should say, that has different topics in it. Okay, so I do want to, after 30 years in the business, I do want to make sure that you get the training that you need. The agents that are in our coaching program are definitely getting well-rounded and are definitely very, I believe, based on their testimonials, very happy that they are with us. I have a challenge for you. Most of you will leave this webinar and do nothing. Actually, 2% of you will only do something. So I want to give you a call to action, a challenge. Contact me now at cindybishopcoaching@gmail.com to set up your top challenge call. It's a 30-minute private coaching call where we get you kind of set in a couple of goals that you need to address to get you going. And we're going to also, at the end of that call, offer you a very attractive savings to jump into our 12-month laser coaching program. Now, coaching members, I want you to make sure that you're doing your checked off goals so that you can give me 3 dates and times and have your next live call. So that's it. And I hope you enjoyed the webinar. Hope it wasn't too much. I could have been here for a day teaching you all the things about newsletters and blogs, but I really gave you enough to get you started and on your way so that you can be irresistible, literally irresistible to your database and the people that you haven't quite added to that database yet, but will. Have a super, super day.